the UK, but he feels he won't get the security he needs. And his idea is that because you can't bring over security because they're all gun-toting, I assume. So he says, can I have the Met Police guarding me and pay for it? Now, you'd think that would be OK, but it's caused a right old row here. So there we are, the Mail saying Met Police isn't for hire. What do you think, Kate?
Well, it's like there's two sides to it. On the one hand, I think if people are at risk, and there's no doubt that it's not safe for him to just wander around the high street, I think if people are at risk, then the police, that's their job, is to make sure that they're not. That's what the police are supposed to do. They're supposed to protect everybody in our society. And the number of times I've had to ring them up and say, look, we've had a death threat, something like this. And I'm afraid to say I've had, I haven't had very much help, but they also haven't sent me a receipt. So I think that we should have a police that can do that. And I don't think anybody should have to pay for it, actually, not even Prince Harry. But sadly, we're a very long way away from that. And the police are, we know, hugely underfunded and not particularly trained up to do some of these jobs. So I think it's good that he's offered, but I'm afraid, no, that's not really how it works. We really need, he should join our campaign to have a police force that is able to do these things and isn't stretched to its limit, and in many cases not really skilled up to do these jobs.
Well, they need a lot of protection. They need 6 to 8 people, I gather. The Star's got a different, the Star's really got it in for Harry, and they make a joke about the fact that he doesn't want publicity, but then again he does, so they call him His Royal Shyness, and they pretend they don't know who it is, and they blanked him out, and they say totally ordinary bloke who does totally ordinary things says he's extraordinary. What do you think, Christo?
I think, actually, although they come across as an utterly loathsome couple now, unfortunately, and although it seems that this offer for them to pay only came up after the Mail on Sunday had gone to print about this, they'd gone for a right of reply, didn't hear anything, and then once they'd published the story, then Harry and Meghan agreed to make a contribution. I actually, on this occasion, agree with them. We cannot get away from the fact that he is the grandson of the Queen. It's the same story, unfortunately, when you look at the royal protection for the Duke of York as well, the second son of the Queen. That makes him, as with Harry, who served in Afghanistan, a target for terror groups, people who want to do the UK harm. Now, the cost of providing him that security, to me, outweighs any potential cost of allowing one of those groups to get that win of harming a direct descendant to Her Majesty the Queen. So we might not like it, but however much of a small life he wants to have, however much he wants to withdraw from public life, he is still the grandson of the Queen. And I think that means that when he's here, his protection should involve the UK security services who have access to the intelligence required so that he's kept safe.
OK, but Kate's point, your point seems to be that you're not given the protection that you need, Kate, when you go shopping or something.
Well, it's not that I need protection when I go shopping or anything like that, but there have been occasions when I've been scheduled to appear somewhere and somebody's made a direct death threat about that event, saying that they're coming to it and that they're going to kill me. And I've had to cancel events, move things around, or indeed just not go and not get paid for it and not do my job. I don't think the solution is that obviously the solution is that I should also be protected, not that, well, if I can't have it, nor can Prince Harry, because Crystal is right. He is a public figure, and as such, whether he likes it or not, he is at risk. I mean, the same actually applies to, when Beyonce comes on tour to the UK, much as I'm sure she'd love to wander down to Waitrose, the fact is that if she's going to do so, somebody needs to keep an eye out, because she is inevitably at risk of being a target because she's such a well-known global figure.
I suppose the answer...
Ultimately, the police should be able to do that, but they are so underfunded, they can barely stretch to sort of doing a quick stroll around the streets and responding to the reports that they've had in, unfortunately.
This seems to be about guns, really, isn't it? Because in the end, you can hire your own bouncers, but you can't have people wandering around who are privately armed.
It's also to do with information. So if Harry had hired his own bodyguards, they wouldn't be able to be armed, and they wouldn't have the information that the Met would have. So I think Harry does actually have a point here, but I think we need to reach some sort of compromise. I don't think anyone's putting any logic to this. He's not asking for irrational things, and he's saying he's going to pay for it. So why can't we just allow his bodyguards to be armed, as long as they're trained, and to have access to the information.
We can't have them toting guns anywhere in this country.
I'm not saying toting guns.
I'm not toting. No, I just think he's got to hire a rugby team and have 15 people unarmed, who would just, if he gets attacked, lift the person up and throw them in a river or something. I mean, it's not difficult, is it?
I think it's more difficult than that.
Well, I don't know about that.
Hey, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Royal Sussex Squad. Today we're diving into a hot topic that's been making waves across the media. Prince Harry's ongoing struggle for the security he needs. And let me tell you, once again the media is twisting the narrative, so it's up to us to set the record straight. So here's the situation. Prince Harry has been vocal about his concerns regarding his personal safety, especially when it comes to his trips back to the UK. And you know what? He has every right to be concerned. As a direct descendant of the Queen and someone who has served on the front lines of Afghanistan, he's undoubtedly a target for terror groups. It's not just about being a public figure, it's about the threat to his life and the safety of his family. But, of course, here come the critics. The media, as usual, is doing what it does best, throwing shade at Harry and Meghan. The Daily Mail, in particular, has made a spectacle out of this whole situation. They're reporting that Harry and Meghan are making a fuss over security, when in reality, Harry has simply asked to pay for protection. The Met Police isn't for hire, they say, but does anyone else see the irony here? We've seen how the media and the royal family have treated Harry and Meghan since they stepped back. They've been stripped of royal duties, and now they're even being denied the protection they deserve. But when we look at figures like Prince Andrew, who, let's face it, isn't exactly a shining example of honour, they're still getting royal protection despite being involved in scandal after scandal. Where's the logic in that? Why Prince Harry deserves protection? Let's be real here. Harry's not asking for special treatment. He's not asking to be above anyone else. He just wants what any human being deserves, protection from harm. When he's in the UK, he should have access to the same protection afforded to anyone else in his position, especially given the risks. The idea that he should have to just get over it and fend for himself is not just absurd, it's dangerous, and yet people are attacking him for even asking. What are we doing? Is this really the world we want to live in, where a man who risked his life for his country is being denied basic security while the media hurls insults at him? The critics continue to call Harry and Meghan selfish and attention-seeking, but let's not forget, those who are slinging mud are the same people who constantly chase these two with cameras, invade their privacy and profit off their pain. It's easy for those sitting in their cosy studios to mock Harry's request for protection, but they're not the ones at risk. We're not talking about some random celebrity here. We're talking about a direct heir to the throne, someone who's been through enough public and private scrutiny, yet the media insists on tearing him down at every opportunity. Shame on them for making this an issue of anything other than his safety. So here's the deal. Harry is not asking for handouts. He's not asking for special privileges. He's asking for what anyone in his position should have, a right to live without the fear of being harmed. Whether or not you agree with his decisions to step back from royal duties, we cannot ignore the fact that this man and his family deserve safety. And to those still throwing shade at Harry and Meghan, maybe it's time to stop attacking them and start realizing they're simply human beings trying to live a life free from the constant media onslaught. If you stand with Harry and Meghan, make sure to hit that subscribe button and show your support. You can also donate via Super Thanks to keep the truth flowing and fight back against the negative narratives. Thanks for listening to this episode of Royal Sussex Squad. We've got your back, Harry and Meghan. Let's keep pushing for justice and protecting those who deserve it. Until next time, stay royal and stay true.